Good morning. This morning I have Miss Segrest with me, and she's our regional instructional coach. I'm going to interview her concerning her position. Good morning, Miss Segrest.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for agreeing to participate.
No problem.
Okay. How does the specialist assess and revise a systematically integrated curriculum, both horizontal and vertically, that engages all the students in rigorous and relevant academic challenges across our academic disciplines?
That really comes through coaching and partnering with all stakeholders. So, when you're sitting down and you're planning using your data, if you're planning with a grade level, then, you're assessing it horizontally throughout that coaching cycle. And I know here in Anniston City, I know y'all have vertical teaming. So when you're talking, from kindergarten through fifth grade in your school, or whether we're talking fourth, fifth with our sixth through eighth at the middle school, then we're continuously vertically assessing what we're doing from one grade level to the next to make sure it meshes.
Okay. Well, how will a specialist assure that instructional objectives and curriculum goals are aligned?
Once again, that's just a natural part of the instructional specialist job, because we're constantly looking at, from the state level, what are our objectives? And then we're constantly revising our curriculum within the school and the system, making sure that the curriculum that we're using, whether it's, textbooks, programs, internet resources, that all of those are aligned with those state goals.
How do you motivate the faculty when you go in? How can you motivate us?
That's probably one of the hardest parts of the job, because, time is such a factor for teachers. And, many times we get frustrated as educators just on how do we meet all the demands of our profession. But the biggest way to motivate is just to partner. When you realize that this is a team effort and not it all falls on one person's shoulders, that's the biggest motivational factor to me, is just to know we're all in this together. We all working for the same purpose. So just continuously encouraging one another.
Oh, yeah, that's good. How would you work with the stakeholders to identify instructional and curriculum needs that align with the district's shared vision and available resources?
Well, in my role, that's pretty easy because I get to travel from school to school. So, just meeting with the instructional coaches. We are fortunate that we have an instructional coach in every school. So you all know what's going on in the school. And then when I visit the schools, then we have a chance to sit down and plan and design and coach, partner. So we're on a constant rotation of making sure that all of that is met.
Oh, okay. How would you work with the staff and others to establish and accomplish our goals?
Once again, in my role, I have a very unique role because you have that relationship with your people here at your school. And then with me coming in much, I have that relationship as well. So when they see you and me as a team, then it's easy to accomplish goals, because they're very, here at Randolph Park, they're very free in, hey, we want to do this, we want to do this, we want to do this. There's a great communication between teachers, administration, specialists, and so that makes my job as regional support very easy. So it all goes back to that relationship.
How do you monitor and assess instructional programs, activities, and materials?
From the regional standpoint, I have to work very closely with your district LEA. So the original vision and the original goals come from the LEA. She passes that down to the administrators and the coaches. Now, one thing we do have the opportunity to do here in Anniston is we have our coaching communities. So, once a month we get to meet with you all and we get to talk about, okay, how's this program going? What's going on with this curriculum? What changes do we need to make? So through the coaching communities, we're able to monitor and assess our programs, our activities, our strategies, and our coaching cycles.
Yeah, we enjoy those meetings too, and we learn a lot from those meetings when we get together. How does the specialist use diagnostic tools to assist, identify, and apply instructional improvement?
Right, and that's more on the school and the system level, because, we have our universal screener of, I think we use Global Scholar here, Scantron. That's our universal screener. Our diagnostic tools, pretty much we use STAR to kind of help with that. We're about to do something at the high school where all the coaches have been asked to kind of do a blitz for a complete diagnostic of our ninth graders so that we all have buy-in to what's going on. So we're going to get back to those 1-minute fluency reads, those word lists, those phonemic checks. So the diagnostic tools between STAR, Scantron, and then Dibbles, we use Dibbles for that, but just teachers listening to their students read. So then I'm able to work with y'all on those results to see, okay, where are we going on there?
Good, to try to help fill in some of the gaps.
Yes, because we have some gaps, but where are those gaps coming from?
Yes.
Our diagnostic tools help us with that.
Okay. What is the greatest difficulties of your position?
I guess communication, because when you travel in our position as regional instructional specialists, when you travel from school to school and district to district, you have to, number one, you have to have that relationship. But communication is often hard when you're not there every day. And, if I'm not at Randolph Park but 3 or 4 days a month, then things that happen in between, you and I have to communicate. Hey, this is going on, so that when I am here, I kind of have a little foot in the door. But I would think it would be communication.
What interferes with achieving your goals and your objectives?
Many times it is attitudes. We have new teachers that come in with different attitudes. We have older teachers with different attitudes and viewpoints. I'm not saying a bad attitude. I'm saying viewpoints, different viewpoints. And you remember when we came out of college, you're ready to conquer the world until that first 9 weeks hits, and then you're like, oh no. So probably the big interference is just looking at everybody's viewpoint, where they're coming from, and seeing it through their eyes. Because even though you're here every day, you're not in that classroom every day. And same with me, I'm not in their classroom every day. So that can be an interference.
How would you characterize our curriculum as implemented, with the choices being if it's knowledge-centered, student-centered, or society-centered, and why?
Well, we're definitely taking the approach of the student-centered, the learner-centered, because why are we here and what are we doing this for? We're doing it for the student. So we are a very student-centered partnership. We want to look at the heart of the student. What are their needs? Not what's easiest for the teacher, not what's easiest for a school schedule, but what do those students truly need? Now, in saying that, I don't think you can be learner-centered or student-centered without thinking of society-centered, because you do have to look at, what are we preparing them for in our community? What jobs are there going to be there for them? So I do think we've got to look at society-centered. That's just part of being learning-centered.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for your time, Ms. Segrest.
No
we
problem.
appreciate it.